Do you remember when you were in college and broke, or do you remember the first job you ever had and you barely made any money and you were just broke all of the time? Fast forward to now and you're maybe at a different job and it pays better, but the money situation didn't really change. There's still not enough money left over and you're still broke all the time. How can that even be? There are multiple possible reasons for that. One of them being, of course, the increased cost of living that we're seeing way too much of right now. But that is a topic for a future video. Today I want to talk about a different reason, that is lifestyle inflation. And that is something that we do have a say in, that we can actively improve while the cost of living situation is beyond our control. So in today's video, let's talk about lifestyle inflation. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Rebecca and welcome, or welcome back if you've been here before. I make videos all about personal finance topics, consumerism, decluttering, and so much more, in case you want to check out any of the other videos that I've made. But now let's get started with the dangerous side of lifestyle inflation. What is lifestyle inflation? Lifestyle inflation describes the concept of increasing your lifestyle and therefore the cost that you have every time you make more money. It's natural to want to improve your life and your living situation with the money that you make. And it's also natural to want to reward yourself for working hard. So let's get something out of the way right now. The lifestyle inflation in itself is not bad when it's done in moderation, but it can become problematic when out of control. Let's say you made $30,000 in your previous job, so maybe around $2,000 every month after taxes, and now you've switched your job and now you make double that amount. With your previous financial situation, you were probably always on a budget, you couldn't really go out or splurge on a lot of things, and maybe you've racked up some credit card debt to make ends meet. You just knew that money was tight. Objectively speaking, you could say that your money situation has improved drastically by starting that new job because it pays so much better. But let's say you move into a bigger apartment because you can afford it now and you really want to move out of your old place. You also upgrade your car because you deserve something better now. You can finally eat out much more often than before and you enjoy that. And you can treat yourself to some new luxuries like a beauty treatment on a monthly basis or shopping without having to look at the price tag each time. Each of these things might seem justifiable because you do earn a lot more money now and you also deserve to improve your life with the money that you make. But you might not have realized that with all of these things together, you have more than doubled your monthly expenses. So you might be even worse off than before, only financially speaking here, because you have a much higher monthly car payment, your rent is so much higher, and all the other things you have to pay. Even though you make much more money now, there's still not more money left over to save after each month. Lifestyle inflation can become dangerous when it hinders us to save any money. When we increase our lifestyle disproportionately to our needs or also our financial means, we just accumulate more debt. We don't have any money left over to save for financial emergencies. So if something does come up, we have to go into debt to pay it. That's what makes it dangerous. It also makes us depend heavily on our jobs. With a better paying job, we could actually work towards being more financially independent. But if we increase our spendings the same amount that we increase our income, that means we're still in the same old hamster wheel. If we were to lose our job now, we would have a huge problem because we have all these bills and they are so much higher than before. And without a monthly income, we would not be able to pay them. To summarize, lifestyle inflation can become dangerous when we increase our expenses without also increasing our savings. Or maybe we don't even save at all. This will keep us in the same financial situation as when we had a very shitty income. The number of young adults that have debt is alarming. Roughly every 1 in 5 young adults has debt that is becoming difficult to manage and pay back. High interest rates and increased cost of living does not make this any easier. And not all of the debt that we're talking about here is unavoidable. Let's say student debt is something that you maybe can't avoid very well, or let's say the cost of living situation is also something that will rack up some debt. Yes, but some of the debt that we're talking about here is coming from overconsumption and trying to keep up with your peers. When we do get a better paying job, it could be a great opportunity to pay off that debt and start over. However, it's so easy to just increase our expenses, to treat ourselves to something here, treat ourselves to something there, and before we know it, the new salary has been completely spent and there's no money left over to make additional debt payments. I'm not saying you should wait to pay off your debt until you make more money, but I'm saying that even though it might seem easier to make it once you have more money, lifestyle inflation can easily creep in and all your good intentions are forgotten. The role social media plays in lifestyle inflation. Why is it that we always spend more money than we make? Comparison is one of the main reasons. Comparison has made people want to buy new things even before social media. The term keeping up with the Joneses is more than 100 years old. We compare ourselves to those around us and we want to be perceived as successful as them, if not more successful. That leads to spending money on things to keep up with other people and what they have. With social media, we don't only compare ourselves to those around us that may also have a similar financial situation as us because they might live in the same neighborhood than we do. But we also compare ourselves to people with vastly different financial situations. We see the lives of influencers and rich people, as well as people with a seemingly normal income. And all of them show their glamorous life. They live in beautiful apartments, go on glamorous vacations, and show off their new purchases online. What we don't take into account is that some of the people that we see online have debt and can actually not afford everything they're showing. We will just automatically assume they are better off than we are, and we start wanting to have similar things. What we also often forget is that some of the things that we see online are straight up lies. Some people are faking their glamorous lives in an attempt to keep up with others and to be perceived as successful. There are numerous videos on YouTube that show the fake life of influencers or the fake glamorous life. One that I really liked was from James Welsh, and I will link it down below.
So let's get into these services. One of the most popular services, locations you may say, and one that I think a lot of us has probably seen without even realizing, is the private jet. There is a studio in Los Angeles that have a very, I would say, overused set of a private jet. And for only $64 an hour, I say only, that's expensive. But you know, amongst 10 influencers, $64 for an hour is nothing to get a quick picture of you pretending to be on a private jet. A French influencer and reality TV star, Oceane Elheimer, I may have said that wrong, was flying from Dubai to Monaco, a 7-hour flight if you have no stops. She posted a picture of herself in business class with the caption, "Next stop, Monaco. I fly all night." However, a fan of hers who just happened to be on the same flight with her actually spotted her in her seat, in economy class. Her fan tweeted about this after seeing her post of her standing up in business class. Oceane, who is kind of traveling business class while traveling in eco. The worst part is that she took the time to take a picture of herself in business just to be that girl on Insta.
Not only are some of the things that we see on social media fake or financed by debt, but we have to remember that social media only shows the highlights, and we don't see or rarely see their everyday lives that are mostly not very glamorous. But how do we get out of this endless cycle of comparison? I've noticed in myself that as I've become older, the need to just prove myself or keep up with others has dramatically decreased. It's not only the age, but I think part of it is due to the fact that I'm careful of what I believe and who I surround myself with. And that is something that we can actively improve. We can stop feeding ourselves the lie that our worth depends on our income or our lifestyle or of how many things or what we can afford. I'd personally always rather choose to be surrounded by people who believe the same about our worth and who don't feel the need to flex their money, rather than being in a circle of friends where everyone feels the need to prove themselves or to show off their financial status. Let me show you 3 foolproof ways to avoid harmful lifestyle inflation. First of all, stop in your tracks, stop automatic spending, and evaluate. A way how you can do that is with a no-buy month, or maybe you want to start with a low-buy month if a no-buy is too harsh for you. I've made some videos on no-buy and low-buy, and I will also link them down below. Take that time to actually remember what's important and remember what is truly necessary spending. And then also create a list with all of your monthly expenses that you have and all of the bills that you have. Secondly, start saving money today. And by today, I mean right now. It's so easy to just postpone that and to think, I will start saving once I make X amount of money. However, if you want to save 10% of your paycheck, A $2,000 paycheck would mean you would have to save $200. If you make $10,000, it would mean you have to save $1,000. What is easier to save, $200 or $1,000? So it doesn't automatically get easier to save money when you make more money, because the amount will be higher and it might seem too high to put into savings. Saving money is a habit that needs to be practiced, and it's best to start practicing right now. You can't expect to be reckless with your money now, but then once you make more money, suddenly have great money habits and make all up for it. That usually doesn't happen. So start building great habits now. Take a look at the list that you made earlier with your fixed expenses. Take a look at what is truly necessary. Maybe you can cut something out. And with that list in mind, think about what percentage of your income you want to save from now on forward. Even if it's just 2% of your paycheck that you can save every month, that's a start, and we'll take that. You'll take that money and you save it every month. In order to not forget it, you automate your savings and have that money automatically go from your bank account into your savings account. With your next job, you'll do the same. You take that same percentage or maybe a higher percentage and you keep saving money. A bonus tip right here for when you get a raise or when you start a new job with a higher income. Take 50% of what you're making more each month and take that and put it towards saving. So you have your initial maybe 2% of your paycheck plus 50% of your raise, and you do that with every raise. It's so much easier to do that in the beginning before you get used to the raise, and you automatically increase your savings like that. The third tip is reflect on your goals. Take some time to dig deep and write down where you're currently at. What do you spend your money on? What expenses are normal to you, or what seems like a luxury to you? And if you had more money, how would you want to spend it, or what would you not want to spend it on? Reflect on how a younger version of yourself would have answered these questions. Are you maybe living a life full of luxuries that are unknown to the past you, but totally normal to today's you? Are you spending money on things that your past self would not have wanted to spend money on? These questions can help guide future you to make better money decisions. Maybe in 5 years, you get to start a new job with a much higher income. Take a look at that list that you wrote down and take a look at the things that you want to spend your money on and that you want to improve your life on. You can repeat this reflection every couple of years to make sure you're still on track. And of course, it's normal that some of our goals or some of our values change over time. But think about whether your spending today actually reflects who you are or who you want to be, or whether they are a product of you trying to keep up with someone else's goals. Also take some time to reflect on who you hang out with. How do they spend their money? Do they flaunt their money? Do they make you want to buy more stuff? Do they pressure you into showing off your money in a certain way? After these reflections, it will be easier for you to spend your money according to your values, and with that new habit of saving money, you're preparing yourself for financial success. And of course, after having saved and invested your desired percentage, feel free to spend the rest of the money however you personally want to spend it. It is great to use money to make our lives easier or more comfortable or stress-free. And it's also great to be able to reward ourselves for the hard work. But be careful that you don't fall into the spiral of always wanting to buy more just to prove yourself to others. It is natural that our lifestyle and standards want to inflate to whatever money we're making, so we need to have a plan in place to avoid spending above our means and to avoid accumulating more debt. I hope this video was helpful and encouraged you to think about your money situation, and maybe you've noticed that you have fallen into the trap of lifestyle inflation. If you like this video, then please give me a thumbs up and check out some of the other videos that I've made, or subscribe to my channel to not miss any new videos. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in my next video.